Hello. How about posture? When we think of posture, you probably remember as a kid, I know my mom always used to say to me, stand with your shoulders back. Well, if we're telling our bodies to do that, or we're telling our clients' bodies to do that, if if we were to tell ourselves even, pull your shoulders flat, we can't walk like this. The minute I squeeze my shoulder blades together, I've restricted motion in my thoracic spine, one of the biggest areas of my body that I actually need to move. However, what happens is we spend a lot of time sitting, we're over a computer. So all of a sudden, things start to get short and tight here. We start to notice that maybe our head becomes a little bit more forward, we become more kyphotic, and we start to stand in a more forward flex position. So one of the worst things that we can be doing is laying on our backs, lifting our heads, doing crunches or any of those exercises, because we're really starting to shorten up, these neck flexors, our sternocleidomastoids, and we start to feel neck pain. And this is why I'm not an advocate of laying on your back to do quote unquote core training. So to work on posture, here's something really simple. Take a step back with your left foot. The minute you step back with your left foot, you're already in hip extension on the left side, but yet you're in hip flexion on the right side. So you're going to reach your left arm across your body like you're reaching towards something. So this shoulder's going forward, the other one's going back. So we can say this one's protracting while the other one's retracting. And now start to do some rotational movements here. Now, even better would be is to do this if you can attach a band, like a TheraBand or a tube, and start to do this motion. So if you think about when we're doing this motion here, you're starting to move your thoracic spine around your cervical versus the cervical around the thoracic. So I can also say, let's look over our shoulder, which of course changes things as well. But now look straight ahead and do the same motion. You're going to notice how that you're creating motion around the neck. And especially once again, if you're sitting all day long and you find that you're getting tied up in your neck, you're like, oh my God, I need a neck massage. Stand up and try this. But you want to pre-position those hips to be open to actually do this motion. And what you're going to feel is kind of a dramatic difference between the right and left side. One side moves a little freer than the other, especially when you start to look over your shoulders. Try that though. It really helps with bringing your shoulders back into a natural position without you having to think, oh, squeeze your shoulder blades together. I mean, back in the day, with classical Pilates, one of the cues is to squeeze the walnut. Well, again, some of the things we did in our past really did lead to dysfunctions in our bodies at a later state and age. So again, I mean, if we're picking things up, we want to use good posture. We want to use our glutes and hamstrings to pick something up rather than flexing forward to do a movement, right? Same thing with core training. So why I'm such an advocate of having the ball behind the back is because, again, let's just talk about if I'm already in a flex position and now you're going to have me do like a Pilates 100, let's take this to an upright position and I'm here. Why do I want to be more flexed when my body's saying, please put me into extension? So by simply placing the ball behind the back, we're talking core, but I'm really trying to think about posture in this episode, especially, again, when that rotation, this scapula is going back, this one's going forward, and vice versa. And I'm moving, again, my thoracic around my cervical, or I can say I'm going to move my cervical and my thoracic simultaneously, or I'm going to look straight ahead. Once again, am I working the core? You bet I am. But I'm protecting my back, I'm not straining my neck, and I'm working on my posture. So both of these, of which, if you think about it, are really beneficial for, for longevity and, how we carry ourselves throughout the day. And once it becomes intuitive and you practice this enough, you'll start to, people will notice like, wow, your posture is great, you're holding yourself different. That also is emotional too. Anytime, we're feeling down or we're feeling depressed, our posture starts to reflect that position. However, if we start to have, we're happy and we got a good attitude, our posture reflects that as well, right? This is Leslie. This is a few little tips and techniques that you can do every day, any day, that, provide better functionality, longevity, for an ageless body.